Hey guys, how's it going and welcome to the Minute channel. And this is gonna be an interesting video. So a little bit ago I made a video titled the Persona timeline, and in this video I talked about pretty much the canon timeline so far that Atlas has kind of approved or talked about. But today I want to talk about some interesting theory slash kind of discussion that has come up, right? This is a discussion that has actually come up for quite a bit of time when it comes to what is going on with a lot of the spin-offs as well as some other characters. Now, we're not going to talk about spoilers or anything like that, but needless to say, a previous ending has opened a multiple timeline paradox, particularly Persona 1 and 2 has this multiple timeline thing going on already. So it needless to say, this kind of is already open up for discussion in a sense, in the sense that it really makes sense quite a bit. Now, this isn't my particular theory, this is something that does happen in the games and has been already confirmed with Persona Q2. Now, in Persona Q2 we have a such non-canon character that shows up out of the blue into the game. That is Minako from Persona 3 Portable. Now, if you don't know, Minako is a female character protagonist that is part of the Persona franchise. However, Atlas has established that she is not canon, except that she is when she needs to be. Now, in Persona 3 Portable, she kind of mentions that she's from her own time, not necessarily timeline, more like universe on her own, where things happen and happen differently. Some things do happen differently in the game if you play it correctly and everything, so you actually save the life of somebody and everything. So it's really interesting to think that in Persona Q that is referenced as part of kind of like, hey, there's multiple universes, that multiple things can happen, and this opens up the can of worms here as far as like what is going on with all this different stuff. In Persona dancing games, the characters get sent into this other area where things are happening because of the siblings who are having this argument as far as who is the better party of people that they serve as attendants. Persona 5 has obviously Joker and his team, and the twins are kind of having this argument. On Persona 3 we have obviously the C's team, and they have their own competition with Elizabeth. Obviously they reference each other and they're talking about how they're arguing about this. Now, this kind of brings up another point that they don't really remember what happened, so all these different stances of different gameplay where they don't really make sense. Now, this is obviously us as people kind of trying to make sense of when things are happening, because to us it's kind of important. It's kind of establishing a timeline, as I tried to in my previous video. Overall, a lot of these games don't really fit into that because they open more questions than answers, really. Now, Atlas doesn't really answer this kind of stuff, and they probably won't because they want to sell more of these spin-offs, but in our sense, we do want to kind of find out what the timelines is for things and like that. So that opens up a question: are all of these spin-offs and different additional stuff that don't really fit the timeline kind of on their own as non-canon, or will it be better to establish them as additional stuff that happens outside of the main timeline, which kind of opens up into different universes or multi-universe or anything like that? Like I said, Persona 2 already kind of touched something on that end, so I don't really want to put spoilers or anything like that, but it does kind of go into that, so it's not out of the realm of expectations that does happen. Now, this is obviously a discussion point here, so I want to hear your thoughts about this. What do you guys think? Do you think that this makes sense, that we have multiple universes in which different things happen differently? We do have the main timeline where main Persona things happen. Of course, we do have additional stuff that has happened over the time in the previous game, so I'm very curious to see if Atlas is ever gonna do something with this that they kind of already opened up with Persona 3Q, or if they're just gonna ignore it and continue with their main timeline again with all different stuff. This could also imply that Persona 3 and Persona FES and Persona 3 Portable may be completely 3 different timelines where things happen differently. Same thing with Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. Again, we already have different endings and everything, so it may make sense. Maybe that's the reason why we have a Kazumi Yoshizawa on Persona 5 Royal, but we don't have one in the Persona Vanilla game. You can kind of go see where I'm going with this. Of course, this is just speculation and kind of discussion for fun, but I want to hear your thoughts about this, because this is again a discussion here today. Again, I did not come up with this. This is something from a comment there, but I do see that this is factually correct, and it does make sense, but at the same time this is a discussion item. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. If you know, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.